What's up? Welcome into the Funshop Podcast with Greg and Ronnie. We are streaming to you live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, Greg? How you feeling today?
What up? What up? I think we're on episode 10, right?
Episode 10, the big 10.
Episode 10 on September 10th.
Oh, we're in double digits.
Wow.
There we go. Congratulations. Congratulations to you, Greg.
Congratulations to you, Ronnie.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, wow. That's a pretty...
We made it to double digits.
We said we couldn't do it. They lied.
We proved them wrong.
Culty lie.
So Wednesday, 5 p.m. What's been going on with you, Greg?
Man, I'm just every day is a grind for me.
Right?
Just working on the Greg's Fun Shop, and I list stuff every day. I sell stuff every day, and then I'm always searching on the weekends for new stuff. So, that's basically it.
How was the hunting for you this weekend? PCC.
Yeah, PCC was this weekend. It was, PCC's been a strange one since the beginning of the year, like since the fires.
Okay.
And, I think with like all the ice raids, I don't know if that affected it as much, but I know that it affected some of the markets. And then I think also there's been a heat wave. So I think that also some of the vendors. So it was good. I mean, I found some great things. One of my buddies gave me the heads up on a new vendor that was there, or that somebody that doesn't really ever sell there, but he has been like buying lockers in Arizona. So I got a couple cool things from him, and what else? And then it was actually I got most of my stuff that day from him, and then just a couple little things here and there. But it was fun. I mean, it was just like it was a little less but it was good.
Yeah, right. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less.
Yeah,
That's
sorry. I know it's like doesn't sound that exciting, but
I mean, I have even less to bring to the table in that department, right? Like I went out Sunday morning, and I think I spent like $20, grabbed like a few things, and it's like, called it a day. It was kind of light, but that's the way it is sometimes. Sometimes you find more, sometimes you find less. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with me, there's that just kind of like randomly searching for stuff, and I do okay. But, I think because I've built up relationships with some different dealers, almost everything I bought, like the one case was like, I knew that one guy was going to be there, so I went to him first.
Right.
And my buddy even kind of said what he had, which, is more this, like I bought like a World War II photo album from him that had all this like amazing nose art, which is just very collectible for, people like that collect World War II stuff. They love that. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they would paint like the girly, like the pinups.
Yeah.
So
the Memphis Belle. And
and so these are all like essentially candid photos. And the guy whose book this was in like one of the bombing, he was like one of the squadrons that like bombed all over Japan. So, that kind of stuff for collectors, the more theater, the more action that they saw in the war, or any war, obviously is more valuable. So,
just curious, because you've hunted on the East Coast and on the West Coast. You find more, as far as World War II stuff, Western Front stuff in California and like Eastern Front stuff on the East Coast, or is it kind of all mixed because it's been so long now?
Well, okay. For instance, this I'm pretty sure since this came out of a place in Arizona, that's where he ended up.
Right.
But a lot of people ended up in California.
Right.
So,
okay.
That's the thing about digging California, especially because California is like, it is the other side of the country. It is the other side of the country.
Right.
And so like, even when I moved here, which is like been like 10 years now, I mean, I sold mostly all my furniture. I sold everything except my personal stuff, and I think that's why that stuff ends up here, because, you have people that either are from here or all over. So, I mean, as far as like flea markets and estate sales and stuff like that, I mean, SoCal is like, in my opinion, from where I've been, it's like one of the hottest places.
Pretty fertile, huh?
It's pretty
That's
fertile.
Good. Yeah, that's good to know. I think, comparing it to what I feel like from vintage toys, from that angle, like, I mean, we're still not on par with like Ohio and some parts of like Western Pennsylvania. And stuff.
Well, like I have a buddy, like my friend Nathan in Baltimore, like he does a lot of estate sales, and just from watching his feed or talking to him, he like the kind of gold mine in the East Coast, at least from like what he says or what I can see, is like estate sales or where he gets the opportunity to go to like into a hoarder house and like, find, like, I think I was telling you a story where he went to a house and the family owned a VHS store or, a rental store back in the day. And so the entire basement was filled with VHS, but also it was the East Coast and the basement was filled with VHS. So most of them were just like totally gone, including the Tracy Lords.
That might be a good thing.
That might have been a good thing. Yeah. But yeah, no. So like, that like I feel like that's the thing that you almost want to find on the East Coast is like somebody's attic or somebody's basement.
Right.
Where
Stuff
the
that's
West
been tucked away.
Yeah, where we don't really have basements here. Even attics. I don't think that's, to me, it's more of like an East Coast thing.
Absolutely.
So in the West Coast, you have more storage lockers.
Exactly. I was about to say we have all the storage units.
All the storage units out here.
That's why we have storage wars.
Storage wars and all that. Shipping wars and
attic wars or attic diggers.
Yeah, basement wars.
Yeah.
Have a bunch of freaks jump in a basement. I mean, I'd be one of the freaks. I'm not like calling other people freaks.
Not related to collecting, but talking about my weekend.
Look at that shirt you're wearing.
This one actually is from my brother. My brother went to the show in England too.
Oh, okay.
So he brought me this shirt from England. So that's why I had to. So many people in LA went to the Oasis show this weekend. They're wearing their gear. So
Kamala Harris went. Billy Zane. We bumped into. I don't want to name names yet because. Possibly potential guest in the future. So a famous comic book artist that you ran into.
It's so crazy to like, first of all right, I hadn't been to a rock concert or anything in like something like 20 years. It's been so long for me. So to even have to show up and line up hours early and like wait for a wristband to get in, and then to wait hours for a show. I mean, that's a lot for me. It was close to 50 years old, but still like
I feel you on that.
Having experienced it and, seeing a band and like recognizing so many songs that I don't even really listen to like regularly all the time. And I don't know, it's just one of the most amazing, just pure rock and roll shows ever. And then seeing all the footage afterwards online, the, professionally recorded stuff, 90,000 deep in the Rose Bowl, like pretty amazing.
So because you were asking me about the Rose Bowl, or you were asking me if I ever saw a show, like, were you excited? Like, was it awesome?
Oh, yeah. I mean, first of all, okay, as a New York Giant fan, it's hallowed ground for our 1986-87 season where we beat the Denver Broncos at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So to be on hallowed ground, that's pretty emotional already. And then the stadium is not big. It's like you look around.
Yeah,
like,
no, I told you it wasn't that big.
They play in here,
yeah,
and so it was impressive. I mean, it hit a lot of notes, for me throughout my life. So just epic weekend.
I have no hate on the Rose Bowl or the football games played there. I've made a lot of money on selling Rose Bowl tickets that I find at the markets, including
vintage tickets.
Oh yeah, I think recently I sold one for $800, $800 or $900. It was the first
Back to the Future one.
No, not the Back to the Future. This was the one. It was like the first time like Alabama won. It was like 1921, and so that was like the start of like the big like the Southern teams.
Yeah.
So it was just like a really rare stuff.
Coincidentally, Nick Saban was the coach all the way back then too. No,
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's funny.
I think he's been a coach there forever. So I don't even know if that joke will land. I don't know enough about
somebody
college.
Will laugh.
But I'm still took me a few days to like even recover for that, and even now it's still like when you reflect back on it, it's just like it just becomes bigger and grander every time. So I don't know. What a completely epic weekend for me. That wasn't shopping.
Related. No, that sounds awesome. I mean, the rest of my weekend was not that. I mean, it was just really just chill.
Yeah, and also first weekend of NFL football coupled with that, and fantasy everything. So I mean, this weekend was just sensory overload. Like
I guess you were over Friday night watching football.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So
man, there's so much going on that like it was really
that's
like
so
a nonstop weekend. But it's part of it. Amazing venue. What also is an amazing venue, not sports related, but concert related, is the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, I really want to see a show there.
Yeah, it has to be the right show. I mean, I thought I wanted to see some electronic acts, but now it's like I don't know. After seeing,
honestly, I'll segue into our first topic. So I actually, I mean, I like The Wizard of Oz. I think it's like a great movie. I think anybody who's like a creative or
Ariana Grande, I love.
I feel like anybody who's like an artist or creative person or a dreamer or like someone imagining, and I don't know. Anyways, so I saw that they had.
Here, let me go to the. I'll cut over to it. Yeah, go ahead.
So we're trying to come up with topics this week to talk about, and it seems like in this past week there were at least 4 moments that we're going to talk about of just like strange things that have either been sold or been reselling for a lot of money.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that Ronnie had brought up to me and I actually saw it was that I guess from the Sphere there's like a lot of like interactive experiences, and one of them is when they're shaking the trees for the apples, all these apples fall from the sky, and then people were selling them now on eBay, I guess between 70 and 200, which is kind of funny. But
I think the I don't know if it's the physics is the right word, but to even like where do they even drop down from, because it's a dome, and I'm sure they have hidden things up there, but it just, from what we know of the Sphere, it's like an enclosed, screen and stuff. So the fact that they even have things falling down, out of the sky, these.
I mean, it's not. They just probably put them in. There's probably just like a net. Like that's what I think they do. Is I think they probably put them in a net and then they pull the net so it goes up. And then they just open the net and it drops.
Okay.
So.
It's better not to know, to have the illusion.
I'm sorry, man.
No, but you're right. It's when I'm asking about the the physical aspects of how they would do it. Yeah, it would have to be something like that. But it's amazing to have these styrofoam marked balls, Wizard of Oz, Sphere.
Yeah. And it's funny because I get you almost have to know. I can imagine how many people went and didn't even think to keep one.
Oh, right.
And then they were like, "Oh my God, I could have had those." And it's funny because, I'm the type of person who would have grabbed one.
Be like, "Do you want yours?"
Yeah, it was funny. Like, I don't know how it is a few years ago now, but Mike Jones and I went to the Zoomies 100K. So anyone that I'm talking to, so I'm talking about with Mishka, my clothing brand, and Zoomies is a store that we sell to, and so they'd have this thing where once a year they would have all the anyone in the store, any of the managers that sold over $100,000, whatever they called it, Zoomies 100K. Anyways, at one of the events that we went to, there was an Adidas party, and they had one of those wax mold machines, like the Moldoramas, that you would see at like, they would be at like old like carnivals.
Where they make a wax figure.
Yeah, make a wax figure of a dinosaur or something. And so they were making these wax figures or wax of like Adidas shoes.
Oh, cool.
And they were just kind of sitting around, and Mike and I grabbed a couple, like put them in our pocket. And even I think Ryan from Rip and Dip even like made fun of us, like, "Why are you guys keeping that?" It's like, "Cause we're not multimillionaires like you." I'm just kidding. Shout out Ryan.
Maybe we are.
True. And so. And then as I was looking for stuff to put on my eBay store, I remember like I put the one up that I had and it sold instantly.
Wow.
For like, I don't know, I put it up for like $40 or $30. So somebody messaged me afterwards and they were like, "You could have sold that for $500. Like, these are so rare. Like, people that collect these like mold things, like, because that was like, this was like a special. It was a special mold made for that event."
Gotcha.
So then I remember I told Mike Jones, and I think he sold his for like $400, which was awesome. But
the appeal of that, was it a Rip and Dip, or is it more because of the wax?
Oh no, it had nothing. I only brought up Rip and Dip because he happened to be there. But no, this was just like a pure Adidas brand party,
Zoomies
thing, and it's just funny because Mike and I are those type of people that would take those things.
Yeah.
So it's like, but so it's a similar type of situation, but. I mean, we didn't really know, I guess, but that's one thing to consider though if you're looking for a collectible item. I mean, that's why people like wait in line for like bobbleheads at the baseball games,
right,
or
exactly.
Because essentially these things are only available at one time.
Right.
But then again, it's usually the thing that doesn't have the, it goes back to what we talked about like last week, where sometimes it's better to sell stuff immediately if you want to make the money,
right?
Because that's when you need to make the money, is when all the hype's going on,
right? Because that's when the item is desirable. It's kind of like it's always when I go into Universal Studios, like their souvenirs and stuff, and I need to have it while I'm there. But if I have to have it while I'm there, once I'm home, I'm like, oh, this is garbage. I don't know why I have this, But
I think it goes back sometimes like buying what you like. Because then it's like if it ends up being worth something later on, then you're just like surprised. You're like, all right, well, I got to enjoy it, and now I get to make money.
And as far as let me see, this hype with the Sphere has been going on since they opened, maybe a little bit over a year ago. And what were the big things like U2, some electronic acts,
Fish,
Backstreet Boys, right?
Yeah.
But it's like there hasn't been a thing where it's like anyone's talked about any merch or walked away with anything really recognizable, you know? So like something like Wizard of Oz, which is, I mean, obviously a classic movie, to have, an
Apple.
Yeah. To have stuff you can walk away with.
Yeah, I mean, look, Wizard of Oz is, I mean, the good thing I like about this too is this, anytime you see an old property in the news or being sold, it just shows you that like this is a property that has legs. And so if you do collect, so if I collected Wizard of Oz stuff, I'd be pretty stoked, because I'd be like, oh, wow, that's good, because now there's like a resurgence in the Wizard of Oz. Because I mean, that movie's like, I think it's like 100 years. It's like 100 years old now, almost,
And as a fan of the Sphere, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like one of the first walk away like items, souvenir kind of things, I've seen.
Well, and everybody knows that movie, and it's so interactive, that it's like kind of the perfect collectible. So maybe this one isn't as weird, but I guess it goes into the idea of, specialty items for shows. They also must have known people were going to take these. I mean, that's another thing too, is they're creating a collectible that's not really collectible. Because if they sold these at the store, I mean, they might, but if they sold them at the store, they're probably not going to be as valuable as like ones that just fell and then people took them, because most people would just be not even take it, because they're not even thinking that it's going to be worth anything. Yeah,
and you can probably flip them while the story is still kind of fresh now. And I like, in this Instagram article, how they talked about, the tickets for the movie are not cheap. They're like around $100. So for a family of 4, if you're spending $400 to go, you can get some of that money back.
That's always
some of these things.
Dude,
so,
that's
kind of neat.
That's not the worst way to look at it.
Pretty fun, pretty tame as far as stuff. You want to move on to the next item?
Yeah, let's move on to the next item we found.
Okay. Also Instagram article here, food related, sports related, rather than, I guess the apples are kind of food related too.
Yeah, this one is so, I hate this one.
I didn't even know there was a McJordan barbecue sauce. I just
So for those that aren't looking at the screen like we are, so a gallon of I just have to be conscious of it. So a gallon of rare McJordan barbecue sauce from 1992, supposedly sold for $10,000. Looks like back in 1992, a former franchise owner decided that he would bring in this promotion that, I mean, if you scroll over, I think you can see other images from the collaboration. So there was this whole thing in the 90s where they were going to do this, some Jordan collaboration. And I guess this guy thought it'd be a good idea to keep the sauce. I wonder if because see, now I'm looking at it and I see a thing of sauce, a card, and a little basketball hoop. Now that, even though 10,000 is still a lot, that would make more sense to me that would go for a little more, because I don't know, man, that barbecue sauce like just looks gross at this point.
It is gross. The promo items, the paper carded items to promote it look way more interesting.
Does it say who spent 10,000? I don't even believe this story. He sold a gallon on eBay for $10,000. I don't know. I mean, maybe
you might not say exactly who it is, but maybe they're a big Jordan collector, and you need to have every Jordan thing. And who's gonna have Jordan barbecue sauce, let alone a gallon of it?
Look, if the Jordan barbecue sauce was signed, I might be impressed. But this reminds me of like the Szechuan sauce.
That's exactly what I think of. That's exactly what I thought of.
Like, I've seen this poster. So there's like a poster that says McPack Fuel for Air Jordan. I feel like I saw that at one of the Nationals. Like, to me, like, that's a cool collectible. You have a young Jordan McDonald's ad, Coke, whatever. You $2.49 for a sandwich. Jesus.
It is interesting that I don't see any Coke branding. I mean, you guys can't see it. Maybe we'll.
There
try
is
to
Coke
post it.
branding.
Oh, it is.
There's a little
down there.
Coca-Cola
it's
logo.
It's not on the cups. I'm so used to seeing it on the cups. But you're
Yeah.
right. It's so small, that little Coke logo.
Well, that's probably when that's probably before they realized they could get Coca-Cola to make their cups for them if they put their logo on it. I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah.
There's another photo. Is that of him? And I don't know if that's him and his son, but
Yeah. But so that was. I mean, that's a pretty weird one. Michael Jordan McDonald's barbecue sauce. I mean, it's probably the only one left, but. To me, it's like not a flex. Like to me, like it's like having like one of those like pickled punks, which is like those like babies in jars.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't want to pickled punks, man.
That reminds me, it's just gross. It's just gross. I don't know. Old food is gross to me.
Old food is pretty. Old food is pretty gross. Yeah, there is no old food that isn't gross.
Meanwhile, people are starving around the world, but look, I'm definitely not starving.
But another interesting one. Let me see. So the first one, let me see, a few $100s for the apples. This one went for $10,000.
Yeah. And then what are we going to next?
Still sports related, not on Instagram, but this is
this was on Collect. This is on Darren Ravel's. I saw this on his X. So. You want to talk about it, Ronnie?
Well, okay. So recently at a Phillies game, I don't even know who they played, but there was a home run ball that got hit. It landed near the feet or under a chair of this woman, and a gentleman ran over. And he got his hands on it first, brought it over. He was maybe like 10 seats away or whatever. Brought it over, celebrated with his son, and they were happy. But then this woman, who's a Karen now because of her actions, went over, disputed with them, argued with them, got the ball back. The stadium or the Phillies representatives came down to talk with the boy, apologized to him, and gave him a whole bunch of, gifts. I don't know if he got jerseys or other balls, but they hooked him up for, because he got the ball, stolen from him, in a matter of words. And now this Karen who had the ball, I guess, was she offered money for it? Or?
Yeah, so I think the story says that...
It's a Harrison Bader home run ball.
Yeah, so scroll down a little bit. I think it was Blowout Cards, which is a card shop, and I think Breakers. So they offered her $5,000 for the ball. But the article says that, the highest ball ever... that was sold to this player. His name was Bader.
Yeah. Oh, right. $450.
Was $450. But basically saying that this ball, just as a season game home run single ball by Bader, would be worth about $125. So it's interesting how that works. It's like once things become, I guess, infamous, they can have a more of a value.
Yeah.
But to me, and we were talking about this at lunch, to me, it just seems like it seems like the person that's buying it for $5,000 is gonna try to put it in Golden and try to sucker someone into paying $15,000 or $20,000. It's kind of like Golden just sold the bat of the Little League baseball player who, I don't. The story's I kind of looked at it, but I think the gist was that. He hit a home run and, he celebrated by throwing his bat, and then he got kicked out of the game, and then Golden sold the bat for $10,000 to $15,000. And which is strange to me because I mean, I don't think you even heard the story when I told you.
Yeah, no.
And it's who's going to remember this? In this Karen thing, I don't think anyone's going to remember this in another year.
Yeah, I think I would have, from that story, I would have remembered more that Little League player was ejected for throwing a bat. That's the story I would have remembered.
The only thing people are going to say, is why did you pay that much for that? Right? To me, it's almost it's like a choose your own adventure that ends in you falling into a pit of alligators.
Right.
By buying that shit.
Those always stink. But I mean, depending on the collector and why they collect things, if it's, has some sort of value or if it's some sort of story.
Well, that's a nice segue into our next item of note. very infamous, I guess you could say.
Let me pull it
Topical.
up first. Okay, we're gonna get into this one.
Yeah,
This one might be a little touchy to some people, but it's still interesting.
Right.
What is this? A zip-up sweatshirt that had belonged to Jeffrey Epstein.
Correct.
Was it found in? It was found in Florida.
It was an archive resale account, so they don't know how it was acquired. Maybe a bunch of stuff was just donated. I mean, that photo was taken. I don't know if it says when it was taken, but there is a photo of Jeffrey Epstein wearing it.
The Instagram post was about the sale for $11,000, and this was the article on Miami New Times. Where they're actually, I don't know if they were speculating the authenticity of it, but it was just before it was sold, some information about it.
Well, I mean, look, it's not odd for me to see this. I mean, right after the what's the dude, the cannibal, Jeffrey Dahmer, when that movie came out, or that documentary on Netflix, a guy who had purchased one of his pair of glasses, like during the hype of that show, sold them, I think, for $100,000.
Wow.
And so, it's like, so there is some desirability. Now, a lot of people, shy away from that stuff because of the energy or the, association with it. And, so I get both sides of it. Yeah. I have a few things that I could say, I guess, are a little dark, but nothing that dark.
Yeah. I feel like with stuff like that might be a little bit more taboo, or, that's really strange. If it has some sort of aesthetic value to me, I enjoy it better. Like a pair of glasses, although that he wore them and he owned them, they're not aesthetically pleasing. It's not like something beautiful to look at.
You'd have to be sort of like really obsessed with true crime in that case.
The same thing with this sweater. This one has a little bit more because it has a personalized monogram. Right, it has some aesthetic value to it.
Yeah.
But for me, it had have to be more of like an art piece that's good to look at with a strange subject. I won't go into it, but like that Robert Williams piece I found yesterday. I won't talk about the subject, but to me that has aesthetic value to it, even though the subject is very taboo and very off-putting.
I don't know if you've ever been to the Haunted Museum in Las Vegas.
No,
the guy I always say his name, Zach Baggins.
Okay.
Like he does
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Baggins or Brett, whatever. He does that show Ghost Hunters.
Oh, yeah.
He has this museum. And
was it Supernatural Museum, or was it called again?
It's like the Haunted Museum.
Okay, gotcha.
And like he has a lot of stuff that's questionable as far as like if the story is real. Like, they have like a mirror that's supposedly like belonged to Bela Lugosi, which is probably real, but then there's like the story is like if you look at it too long, you can get like sucked in or like see a demon or something. So there's these kind of things that have stories or made up stories. But then as you go later into the museum, they have the chair that Michael Jackson's doctor sat in while he was like administering him his medicine.
Michael Jackson's doctor.
Yeah, like because that's remember that's how.
That's
so
why.
So in that like that's a kind of a creepy thing because even though it's just a chair and it is an interesting looking chair, but nothing crazy. But like just looking at it, you're like, oh man, like, that
and
dude,
the story that was involved.
The story involved in
absolutely.
it. Or
Very
they have
morbid.
They have other things like that, like Jack Kevorkian's Volkswagen Bug that. Before that, he would basically, it was kind of like a death mobile. Like it was all set up where people would go in there, and then when they were ready, they would press a button.
He had his stuff in his car. I didn't know because I didn't know. I don't know the story enough. He had all the stuff set up in his car.
They have it at the museum. He had this car. I think he eventually got like a physical location, but he would drive around, and I guess like people that wanted to euthanize themselves.
Holy cow! They would sit in his car and he would
hook them up, and press a button, and then they would do it. Yeah.
That's the literal opposite of the death-proof car in the Death Proof movie.
Yeah,
it's like the car that you can't die in, and it's the car you can't live in.
Yeah.
My gosh, I didn't know that about that.
Yeah. So I actually I haven't been there in years, but I mean it was a fun if you're into that type of stuff. It's kind of like if you've been to the Museum of Death, it's like a similar type, but where the Museum of Death definitely has way more. Everything's related to death, but
right. Well, going back to the sweatshirt. Actually, I don't know. I mean, I went back to it. I don't know if there's anything else we still need to cover about it.
No, I just think the idea was, there's this idea of, I guess it's just talking about, like, is this worth $11,000? Where did they come up with that number? And, again, it just goes back to like the people will pay what they think it's worth.
Yeah,
and
or they had to beat out somebody else for it because it was auctioned, right? So
no, I think it was like just for sale. I don't know the exact story,
okay.
but I think like a designer bought it or something, or I don't know. It's a pretty ugly zip up, honestly. But I mean, look, it's infamous now, I guess.
Like I said, I mean, it's probably more for the monogram, right? I mean, obviously, without that, it's a lot less. It's not like it's almost like an autograph, right?
Yeah,
it's the guy's initials.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if I'd want to own something like that. Like it's just not pretty to look at.
No.
Right, and the subject matter is way off.
Right.
Let me check the chat real quick. We got Joe West Coast in here. Kevin's in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
little R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. I don't know if I want to get into all that.
Yeah, I don't really want to get too into that. But I mean, I guess I will say, look, I did kind of go off on a rant about freedom of speech
last week. Right. That's why it's kind of strange. It's
I don't really want to.
Today.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. I don't.
We just want to keep it positive and light.
Yeah. Look, I'm a free speech absolutist. Leave it at that. I don't think someone should be killed or jailed for their speech. It happens all over the world. It doesn't happen here, generally speaking, and I don't want it to start happening because, just because you don't like what somebody says doesn't mean the next time it could be somebody that you like what they say.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways,
I'll just, for my 2 cents, I'll say it's interesting. We do have freedom of speech. But that freedom is to keep us out of jail. There's could always be repercussions for other things for what you do and what you say, So you got to be careful out there, especially when the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms, right?
Yeah.
So
look, man.
I mean, they're right next to each other. I mean, you're free to say it, but I mean.
Look, we don't know who shot him. We don't know if it's a big conspiracy, but it's vigilantism in my opinion, and I don't think personally, I don't want to live in a country like that.
Yeah.
I think that we as Americans have sort of a semblance of, whatever you want to say, law and order, civil society. I think there's just things that, I live by the golden rule. I think most people do, and if you don't, then you should probably start.
Do unto others as you would. Is that okay?
Yeah. So.
I wasn't sure if it was that or it was like say please and thank you. I'm like, which one's the golden rule?
Do that too. Say please and thank you. But I think the golden rule. It's one of those truths that kind of goes through any religion or any spirituality, and I think it's a very basic and good way to live your life.
Yeah. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like you can't, and honestly, it's like when you look at the country, like I won't get too into politics, but like we can't sit there and wait for the country to get better. The country doesn't get better until we get better, right? So as we individuals become better people, the whole country will lift up together. But right now, man, people are just like lost out there and like focused on other things. So
and it's like, the thing to combat bad speech is better speech, right? That's what everybody says. That makes the most sense to me. And I think if more people just could be honest, then, maybe we'll have a better place. But anyways, speaking of that, I've had this on my desk. I want to talk about this little doll.
Absolutely.
You want to, here, we can go in a little bit. Go to camera 2.
This is something about balcony life, I think.
Yeah, so this goes back to our fun adventure at the last Geekin' Out. And one of the vendors there, he recognized me from Mishka and had said that we had inspired him, and so he wanted to give me one of his creations, which I thought was really cool. I took it out of the box, so it came in this. So I guess it's the first thing he ever put out. It's called Billy Bagley. I had him sign it for me. And I unfortunately, it's made by, so if you want to check it out, it's made by Balcony Vault. like a balcony and then vault, one word.
Yeah, and we'll put the deets in the.
Yeah, and I I can't remember the kid's name, but he signed it. And look, man, I love. Look, first of all, if someone gets inspired by me, it makes me happy because that's sort of that's kind of my vision and like everything I do in a way. Like I want people to be inspired to be creative because I know how hard it is just for me to be creative sometimes and like get up, get out, actually do something. So. And I love the idea of the first thing that you do when you're starting a company or brand is making a little plush. I think in a lot of ways it sets you apart from other people. And it's like a fun way. And I guess he was a toy dealer, so it even makes sense that he'd be making his own toy.
Right.
And, I think it came out good. It's cute. I like it. And I just wanted to give Billy Bagley and Balcony Vault Co. a shout out because he was nice enough to give me a figure. And I actually think it's really funny and cool. It's a little like money bag.
We'll put up info on with his Instagram and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, I think he does things with social media where he'll stash it.
Oh yeah, that's
places,
what you told me. Like
right?
he'll hide them.
Yeah, and he'll like give people hints, and it's kind of a scavenger hunt to get. And if you find it, it's like
and that's that's really smart too. Since he only made 100, or at least 100, maybe he made some APs or something. But that also that's great because you have to do that when you're starting out too. You do have to give away stuff. I mean, look, for the 5 people who are watching, he got a big shout out right now.
Yeah. And the many more yet to discover us.
The many more yet to discover. So if you're watching this now, it's probably sold out 2050.
That's right. Go to eBay. It's going up in price already.
Go to G-Bay.
What was your favorite plush as a kid? Did you have one plush?
Favorite plush.
Were you a blankie kid? Did you have a blankie?
No. I was never a blankie.
I was a blankie kid. Until it
makes a lot more sense.
Until like junior high.
Makes a lot more sense now.
I need my security, man.
No, I was never a blankie kid, but I did like stuffed animals. So let me see, plushie. So I think I've told you this. So like one of the things I remember as a kid pretty vividly, it was like in 1985. I think I told you we went down to Florida to Disney World, me and my family from Connecticut.
Okay.
And during this time, they had the Captain EO show at Epcot. And so I got the elephant dude.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool because I think also too, like I think I have photos from me from that trip. I got to find it, but I was like wearing like a half shirt because that was like popular. And I think the elephant was wearing like a net shirt, which was also kind of popular back in that time.
I just keep thinking Max Rebo. He looks like Max Rebo.
He looks like Max Rebo, yeah.
Did he play the keyboards too? Maybe.
Dude, I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Like, I remember going to it and seeing the show, but I don't remember, like, exactly. I just remember, like, liking... Because, I always liked the weird characters. Yeah, like, I liked Jabba the Hutt and, like, Chewbacca and any of the aliens. So I just, like... And then I did have a Cabbage Patch Kid. His name was... Phillips. Something Phillips.
Wilson Phillips.
Now I can't remember it. But before the real Cabbage Patch, I had like a bootleg Cabbage Patch that, my brother is he's semi-retired. He's still a nurse, but he was working, at a hospital as a kid. And I remember he came home one day and he had this little punch card and he was like, "Oh, pick a name." And then, he sold the punches, right? And then they would pick a name after the contest, and then if you pick the right name, then you get to get the doll.
Oh, cool, like a bingo thing.
Yeah, so I picked the name Hal, and so I won it. So I had Hal, who was he was like a bootleg Cabbage Patch Kid.
Cool. All right. I gotta stop you because I got made fun of in school for my bootleg Cabbage Patch from Taiwan. I want to see if it's the same as yours, where the toes weren't sewn individually. Instead, it was just one big nub of a foot. That since
I think so.
Since you're gonna put it in the shoe anyway, they're like, oh, they just cut corners.
Yeah, I think so.
I got so much crap for that in school.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like, they're like, it's not a real Cabbage Patch, you know?
Yeah.
So I had told that story, and one of my I guess as an in-law, my brother's wife, she had, I think, worked at Mattel or like Coleco, or she came up across a Cabbage Patch
Yeah,
kid,
I think
like
it was
in her job.
Coleco that made,
and she
made
actually gave it to me. It's like this little black girl, you know. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I have an actual Cabbage Patch. That's
well,
just loose,
it
but
was
it's
funny
legit,
because
so
I
thank you.
actually saw Hal at the flea market like a couple weeks ago. Not my Hal, but that
the model,
same
right,
model doll,
right.
because it's this. He's got like this blue corduroy jumpsuit. Oh, whatever. So I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about it. And he's older. He has a daughter my age actually, and he was saying, he's like, oh yeah, we bought our daughter one. I walked into a store and got lucky, and that was the same thing with me. My aunt walked in. There was this store in the Northeast called Bradley's that was like, kind of like a Walmart. We also had like Caldor.
Yeah, we had those.
And so my aunt just happened to be at a Bradley's when they were like putting them on the shelves. So she bought one for me.
Cool.
So, which is funny because it's interesting how I think about like Garbage Pail Kids. You know, they're still popular, and but it's interesting though that it is still popular because the joke was because Cabbage Patch Kids were so popular.
Right.
So making fun of them,
Right.
like, made everybody was like, oh, that's funny because
Yeah.
like Cabbage Patch Kids, whatever.
Or it was like just cool being the gross kid instead of
Yeah.
like the prim and proper.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's really funny because now if you have no like semblance of how crazy it was back then, and people like fighting each other and nobody able to get them, and them selling for ridiculous money, the cabbage the thing doesn't translate as well,
right. Right.
So now it's just, but it's it's still a great property, and I'm actually a fan. I mean, I would have loved to do Gas Green Day cards, but they did a set in the new Garbage Pail Kids, but
very cool.
I actually
That is
do.
cool.
I actually like them. I mean, there's some pretty cool relic cards like guitar strings and picks, and Gas. We're starting to do some relic cards.
Okay.
But I will say these were pretty nice.
Relic card. Sorry, maybe I'm
a relic
slipping in my
card.
old age.
A relic card essentially is like, if the
Oh,
most common one's
like
like a
a patch.
swatch,
Right.
swatch of a
That's right.
of a jersey, a
Right,
game worn
right,
jersey or
right.
something. Even though that's another conspiracy, because people were I think like this year at some point people were like damaging their cards and then looking at the numbers on the back
and
and finding that they were
wrong ones.
like to the wrong person and stuff. So, that stuff's, again, it goes back to just having to trust. It's a matter of trust, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, did this pick actually belong to Billy Joel? Did he play with it? And you have to assume that they did, I guess. I don't
Always
know.
looking for authenticity with that. That's why, like, when I buy, like, as far as the relic cards and stuff, with the Juicy Honey, like the Japanese adult stuff, I only like to spend the money on the entire item. Like, I don't want like a relic with like a piece of the bra. Like,
You want the whole bra.
they have bonuses with the entire bra or like the entire, underwear or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I want those,
Right.
I don't want just that one piece. And it comes with the Polaroid photo of the model wearing it. And that seems like it cuts down on the, unsureness.
Yeah,
of it.
but I think people like to have it all like encased in one card, and they just want to believe that it is. So
The heck what most of you like. This is the Fun Shop with Greg and Ronnie about
that's
what Greg and Ronnie
Greg
like.
and Ronnie likes. So one thing we didn't bring up. So this weekend is the paper and postcard show
in
at
our
in our
beautiful Arcadia,
beautiful
California.
Arcadia, California,
Our
at the Masonic Temple.
Yep. Duarte Road,
Duarte.
across the street from the high school. So you can look up Arcadia High School
Yeah.
on your maps and
Actually,
find the Masonic Lodge. across
if
the
you're
street.
into just the Masonic Lodge in Arcadia is cool to go into because they have all those like cabinets of like they're like because I think they've been there since like the 30s or 40s, right?
yeah.
So they have like all these weird like Masonic relics like crowns and all their like jewels and old paintings and stuff. So I mean, I just like going there too to like look around at the stuff. I don't really look anymore because I've seen it, but Yeah, so I'll be there all weekend. I think Ronnie will be there with me some of the times. I think you have something to do Saturday.
Yes, I'll talk about that a little bit too. But yeah,
so-
Saturday and then Sunday I will sacrifice some of my football watching time to go to the paper
And
show.
then Saturday, so we could put it in the post, but they have a intro. They have like a early bird from, I think it's 8 to 10 or 7 to 10.
No, I want to say 8 or 9.
Yeah,
like
maybe
I don't
8
think it's
to
as early
10.
as 7, but
It's 8 to 10, and then I think the show opens at 10.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
it's like 10 till 4 or something. We'll put the info
it's
in.
like, but if you want to come early, I think it's like $40, and then
40.
40. But then I think after 10, I think it's free.
You won't miss anything if you go there on time. You don't trust me. You don't need to go there.
Yeah, unless you're. Yeah, look. Yeah, I think most people don't have to go the early bird. I mean, I'll be there. It should be it should be a fun weekend.
It'll be fun. I mean, we're always having fun no matter what.
Yeah,
but I mean,
yeah.
the paper show is super interesting. The energy is not very hyper. It's very chill. You just walk around, and I mean, a lot of postcards. You'll find some interesting thing. You'll find some Disney stuff. There's a lady that always sells Disney stuff.
Disney.
You might find some comic books or movie related stuff.
Oh yeah, people bring. People bring posters, books.
I love to ask around for like adult.
There's
items,
plenty of adult items. They're usually in the back under the table.
Yeah,
yeah.
Off-color historical stuff.
All types of stuff. Yeah, and I will say this too. If I always, even from if you're just like I said, it's free to go. It's free to look always, and as a artist myself, I always encourage other artists and designers to go there because the amount of inspiration. We all know like inspiration can come from anywhere, but think about all the old, everyone just looks online, but not everything's online, obviously. Like you can't scan every single page of every single newspaper and magazine, so you might just find an old ad, you might find something that just, sparks some interest, so it's always, to me, it's a great show. And again, it's really focused on postcards and paper, but you never know what's going to pop up there.
You never know. And it's one of those things, even if you have items, you can bring it there and get opinions and, you can try to sell it. Maybe there's people always buying stuff. I think the people buy stuff from each other there.
I've bought,
dealers do.
we all buy stuff from each other. And I've bought stuff from people that have just walked in. It really depends, but you can bring, if you have good stuff, bring it. Don't bring junk.
Well,
No, I know. I'm just half joking.
Don't bring your
knows.
Wrigley's, chewing gum wrapper. No one's gonna want that.
Yeah, just bring your copies of Action Comics #1, Detective Comics 27. You
got a box of
Mickey Mantle rookie cards.
If you have old ticket stubs, stamps,
I'll buy the ticket stubs.
Anything,
stamps.
any random thing on paper that's old. Like these people love that stuff.
I love it.
Our toy plug actually that I've been skipping flea markets to visit. I just talked to him randomly about stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm into paper and stuff." And I told him about the paper show, and he didn't even know those shows existed.
Speaking of paper and speaking of Blockbuster, I found my Blockbuster card when I was cleaning.
Wow, what a difference! Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference!
Blockbuster Video.
Blockbuster was amazing, obviously, because when the new movies came out and they would be rented out at tape shops that only had 1 or 2 copies, this place would have like 25.
Oh, this is when I lived in Orlando too. So this was on Kirkman and Conroy, and I got this card 8/25/2000. So almost like over 25 years ago now.
Yeah.
Damn, we're old, bro.
Yeah.
How did this happen? I don't know.
I'm about to put Joe West Coast in a comment timeout. He's talking about Redskins football and stuff. I just want
let him do his thing. Let him do his thing.
New York Giants.
We need people commenting anyway. Say what you want.
Not when they're NFC East rivals. Actually, we have a Cowboys fan and a Redskins fan in there, so I don't know. Might have to dox.
So what are you doing on Saturday again?
Oh, okay. Saturday is the 1-year anniversary of our friend Freedom and Lauren's Whatnot channel.
Okay, right.
So they're doing, I don't know if it's still going to be 12 hours, but they're doing a marathon Whatnot sale, and they're inviting some of their friends, me, Cody, Secret Toy Society, Retro Butta, Trap Ninja Toys, Astro Base Zero.
All these names.
They're Instagram handles. You know, I might invite
No,
someone,
I know, it's okay.
we're kind of taking turns for an hour selling our weird stuff. So I think I'm gonna grab some of your things too and
Cool.
show some of his weird things to show to their audience.
The other, we should also put a link to this in the is this weekend at Beyond the Streets Gallery is the Guar show.
Okay, that's where they had that Ghana poster.
That's where they had the
show
Ghana,
earlier.
the
So
Deadly
it's
Prey
a
Gallery.
Guar show. Is it about like the history of Guar?
I think it's about the history of it's just about the history of the band, a lot of their relics, and I think I believe members of Guar are going to be there in full costume, and I think it should be a pretty amazing. That's on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Now I'm not as familiar. Have they had like rotating not rotating, but they've had members being replaced in the
Yeah, I think
the duration of.
Look, I'm not a Guar
Okay.
expert by any means.
That's fine.
I think one of the main guys passed away, but I think the singer is still. I don't know. Go on Wikipedia.
Okay, I'm only asking because when I was in high school, all right, back in 1993, I was at a comic show in New York and Guar was there, and I was going gaga. I was just like, I'm in high school, and you know how pubescent teenagers are, and I was staring at like the female member in there because she I don't know if scantily clad is the right word for it, but kind of revealing, and I was just in a daze staring at her, and like some of the other band members were like pointing me out and like kind of like ribbing me a little bit. They're like, that guy, but so I was just
I have
curious.
a weird my Guar. I have like okay, well, I'm not going to tell about the first Guar member. Well, they're both. Oh, geez.
Short and sweet.
You know what? Well, okay. I remember the one memory I have was there was in high school, there was this like punk house where there was like these older punks that like lived in this house. They let all the like high school kids like go over there and do whatever. Right? I mean, I was straight edge, so I didn't do anything, but but I remember one time they had some Guar video on, and I just remember seeing this thing, and they called it like sperm and slide.
Okay.
And there was a certain way that they got the slide lubricated.
Oh boy!
And they kind of showed that as like a joke, and
like a Takashi Miike lubrication.
Yeah. But look, I got to see them once. They're over the, their costumes are over the top. I feel like every time whoever's president, they always have like somebody eating them, and they, I know that they're always known for like having like these like giant dicks, and these like monsters, and like things would get eaten on stage, and there'd be like fake blood and fake like bodily fluids.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
like fun.
I think it should be a good time.
So this weekend down on we don't know the address. I'll put it in the description too.
Yeah,
but,
it's on La Brea.
La Brea, yeah.
By Pink's.
Yeah, down the street.
Because we had Pink's, and we went to.
Might have to do that again.
Yeah.
So that's this weekend. Can't wait.
And then next month, I'll be set up at the Rare Books LA at the Union Station.
Was that the 4th, 5th kind of?
I think it's the 4th and 5th.
All right, we'll put more of that information in.
Yeah.
And we still have to get more solid information for LA Card Show.
Oh, yeah, LA Card
end of
Show.
this month.
We're hoping to have a booth there. We'll keep you posted.
It's got to happen. Dodger Stadium. Got to happen.
But, we're going to have a Funshop booth there, so that should be fun. Shop.
We're going to be bringing the fun, I think.
I hope so.
There's a lot of seriousness in that. Well, actually, that's not true. It depends on who you are. The kids keep it fun.
Yeah. Children are our future.
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Yeah, show them all the beauty they possess inside and give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be.
All right. I think the Giants-Broncos game at the Rose Bowl was also where Whitney Houston sang her iconic national anthem. I think it was that game.
Yeah. I loved Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I still do. And she had a beautiful voice.
Yeah. One moment in time, I think, was for the Olympics.
Was it?
Yeah, but I think the national anthem was Rose Bowl. I want to say that game had the Michael Jackson halftime, too.
Potentially.
I need to check that. I don't want to get my facts mixed up. But
something? Did you ever look up like all the different disguises Michael Jackson wore?
I feel like I
during the
have.
years.
I've forgotten some of
That's
them.
something to look up because it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like all the times that he dressed up to go out different places.
I might get him mixed up with Kanye with some of the disguises. So I'm like, oh,
I think
shoot.
Kanye was definitely inspired by many of Michael Jackson's disguises.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So, anything else you wanna you feel like showing, or anything else we need to cover?
No, I mean, like this, we'll see you this weekend. It's also Rose Bowl weekend, so I'll probably be there early before the show.
I guess kind of not really news, but related to the show. Do have our I guess I don't know if it's a considered a secondary camera, the guest camera. I do have a guest camera now.
We got a guest camera.
Got the mics, got everything.
Got
so
that.
that's something to look forward to. I think we can officially announce that. Can't announce any guests or any dates yet.
Yeah, we honestly haven't set it up yet, so we just brought it in. We're testing it, but I think sooner than later we're going to start.
We are
going to
have the guests. So
and that will be a whole new show, I think.
Yeah. So I think by nature the shows could get a little longer.
Yeah, I think they would be a little longer, but
I would want to have them involved from the get-go. You don't want them sitting on the side and have us riff or whatever.
Oh no, we would probably we'll figure it out.
I feel like they'd be like a third host kind of role,
or we just would cut the intro. We'd cut the intro down to 3 to 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, but something definitely on our mind. Want to let you guys know something to look forward to in the future.
We only know so much, and I don't know. I barely know anything, and Ronnie can only he can only carry me so much. So,
well, yeah, we haven't hit the limit yet. We haven't hit the roof yet. So we're still trudging along.
There's plenty to talk about,
yeah,
but. Yeah, no, I don't have really anything to show today. I don't think I showed my Blockbuster card, and I will. I can show my favorite thing I bought at the PCC this weekend. One of them, it's a piece of a like a pillowcase, and it just says Jester, and I don't know. I just think it's cool.
What would someone do with that? Why would they make that?
Maybe their name was Jester. I mean, it could be a patch for the back of a shirt or them something. Just like, right. I mean, maybe they're in like a club or something, and that's their chosen name. So,
and it was fun enough for you to be like, all right, I'll take a gamble.
Yeah, it's cool. Look, who's the Jester now?
I don't know.
Maybe me.
Might be you. Yeah, if you put it on your shirt.
I could put on my shirt like this. See, I wore a black shirt so I could see what it looks like.
There you go. Yeah, looks like it's made for that.
I am the Jester now. Look at me. Ronnie, look at me. I am the Jester now.
Yes, you are. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I know. I'm so smart. Well, all right. Well, yeah, I think that's probably it. I guess that's all, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We can slide out of here.
Slide out here a couple minutes earlier.
Well, thank you guys for listening to us, sharing some time with us on another episode.
Like, subscribe, comment, let us know you're listening, and tell us what you think.
Peace out, guys. Have a good week.